Next question. Stocks of Alpha Limited is currently selling for rupees 50. So we have been given P0. The rupee return, dividend plus price change of the stock for the next year would be as follows. There are 30% chances it will be 55 rupees, and there are 70% chances it will be 70 rupees. Calculate expected return and standard deviation of rupees 1000 invested in equity stock of Alpha. That is the question. I want you to make calculation of answer of this question on your own and put your answer in the chat box. Now friends, as far as this question is concerned, you can compute answer of this question either in rupees term or in percentage term, because the question only says that say you're required to make the computation of the expected return. The question does not specify that whether this return is required to be computed in rupees term or in percentage term. This is what we understand. So let us have understanding that say how to make the calculation of answer. Everybody is requested to pay attention. See, 1000 rupees is the investment divided by P0, 50. So that comes to 20 equity shares. So first of all, you can prepare a small working note that the investment is made in 20 equity shares. There are 30% chances that the return will be 55 rupees. So if at all, suppose you are making the computation of the answer in rupees term, then what will happen? Just I am having first of all an informal discussion with you. 30% and 70%. 20 shares that you have purchased into 55. So 20 into 55. Your return will be rupees 1100. This is the return. And 70 into 20. Your return will be rupees 1400. Because over here language of the question is extremely clear that dividend plus price change. So we understand that so the D1 plus P1 minus P0, that is provided to us as 55, that is provided to us as 70 rupees. Okay. The probability and the return product of both of them, that will give us so the mean return, that is x bar over here. Then x minus x bar, x minus x bar whole square into probability, summation of that is variance, and under root of the same is standard deviation. This is the way you can make the computation of the return and risk for making investment in this security. If at all somebody wants to make the return and the risk calculation in percentage term, then what he or she will do, this 1100 rupees divided by 1000 into 100, so that comes to 110 percentage and 140 percentage. So again the probability into return, that is the way the weighted average return can be calculated, and with that say we can make the computation of say the variance also, and based on that standard deviation. So write an answer. Working note number 1, calculation of number of shares purchased by an investor in that amount of investment divided by purchase price. What is the amount of investment? 1000 rupees. And what is the purchase price? Purchase price is 50 rupees. That comes to 20 shares. Now calculation of expected return and standard deviation. Let us see how to make the computation of the same. Column number 1 is probability. Column number 2 is return. We assign x variable to it. Probability into x, that is x bar. Then x minus x bar. X minus x bar whole square into probability and summation of that is variance. That is the way, so we make the computation of the variance. 3070, 0.30, 0.70, 5570, number of shares are 20 and number of shares are 20. 55 into 20 is 1100. 70 into 20 comes to 1400. 30% chances that the return will be 1100. So it comes to 330. And 70% chances the return will be 1400. That comes to 980. 980 plus 330, that comes to 1310. This is the way the x bar can be calculated. Then x minus x bar, 1100 minus 1310, that is negative 210. 1400 minus 1310 is positive 90. Then negative 210 square into 0.30. Positive 90 square into 0.70. So square of 210 into 0.3. So 13,230. Square of 90 into 0.7. 5670. Total of both of them is 18,900. And this is what we understand is the variance. Under root of the same will be standard deviation. So let us answer the question further. Standard deviation is under root of the variance. So it is under root of 18,900. That comes to rupees 137.48. That is the way the standard deviation can be found. If at all we do with this question with in percentage term, then in that case, how can you calculate the answer? Let us understand. So, or we can say something like this. Column number 1 is again probability. Column number 2 is return in percentage term. Again, I am assigning x variable to it. Probability into x is x bar. X minus x bar. X minus x bar whole square into probability and summation of that is variance. So 30% and 70%. 0.30, 0.70. As far as the return is concerned, it is 55 upon 50. So 55 upon 50 into 100. In that case, the answer comes to 110%. Now friends, the amount of the investment does not carry any importance. Why? Because everything is converted into percentage term. If at all you compute, let's say you have purchased 20 equity shares, then 20 into 55, that comes to 1100 divided by 1000 into 100. Again, the answer is going to be same. It is 110%. So when you are making the computation of the return in percentage term and risk also in percentage term, then in that case the amount does not have any significance. In the next case it is 70 rupees. So now we understand it is 70 upon 50 into 100, that comes to 140 percentage. So now probability into x, so 0.3 into 110, that comes to 33. 0.3 into 110. Next, 0.7 into 140, that comes to 98. So the overall return comes to 131 percentage. That is x bar. Then it is x minus x bar. So what will happen? It is 110 minus 131. Then 140 minus 131. That is the way x minus x bar will be calculated. So it is negative 21 and then it is positive 9. Then x minus x bar whole square into probability. That is the way we are required to make the computation of the variance. So negative 21 raised to 2 into 0.30. So square of 21 into 0.3, that is 132.3. Then we understand that say square of 9 into 0.70. That is 56.7. So 132.3 plus 56.7, the total comes to 189. Afterwards, standard deviation. It is under root of the variance. Under root of 189. That is 13.7477. That is the way standard deviation can be calculated over here. So let us have summary of the entire answer. First of all, we compute that say what is the number of shares in which the investment is made, and then calculation of the expected return and standard deviation in rupees term. Importantly, understand that say we have been provided with the dividend plus price change. So this return information is what say they have provided to us as D1 plus P1 minus P0. That is directly provided to us in the example. So taking into account the number of shares and say taking into account the return, we have made the computation of expected return, variance and standard deviation of the same. This answer can be computed in percentage term too, wherein the numerator is directly provided as 55 and the P0 is 50. So we convert that into percentage term, 110%, 140%. Mean return is found, then x minus x bar and so on. We make the computation of the variance and under root of the same is standard deviation. That is the way we are required to make the calculation of answer.